Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
This guy over here, he ain't never quit.
Well,
How hard was it for you to quit? And then I know you guys talked on the phone at least, and maybe you went to some of his races, but how hard was it to quit and watch him keep on getting it?
well, the last race that I started over there, I started on the outside pole. And back in, you slip around and soak your tires, so I soaked me a set. And I put them on, and all I could see was winning. And I started on the pole, and I had them put that, you flicked a set of soaked tires on, and I didn't warm them up.
I got you.
And when they give a green, I dropped, and it spun out with me.
Got you. Yep.
I never even made it to the start-finish line.
Wow.
I said, if a damn man can't make it to the start-finish line, well, I reckon he ain't got no business out here. So
that was kind of your aha moment this time.
Yeah. So
you.
I took it home. At that time, I kept it in my basement, in the garage in the basement. I backed it in there, got out of it, give it a big kiss on the top, and I said, I'm done with you.
Wow. And you meant it.
And I meant it. I never sat back down in it.
Wow.
But only time I've been in one since, down at Hillsborough, they had an exhibition race down there. And I drove Sam Martin's car.
Okay, cool.
And that was a cool moment. But we didn't race, we just.
Now, big brother, slightly, have you ever tried to get him to come out and play in the East Coast Flathead Fords? Have you guys ever talked about that?
Yeah, I've invited him to come over and make some laps and all, and you know, he didn't feel like it, or you know, I've been blessed with good health. I thank God every day.
Right.
We were down at one track and was going to a driver's meeting, and I believe it was Dillon. We was parked down the first turn, and we were walking up to the flag stand. And they said, Johnny, somebody need to help you. I said, I can run up there. They all laughed, so I run up there, turn around, run back. I said, any of you guys need to be carried up there? So, I mean.
I've been to Dillon. I understand that little hike.
And again, I've been blessed with good health. I mean, I work all the time. That's my hobby, working. And the club relies on me. If something happens, more likely it'll end up in my shop.
I got you.
Whether it's building a motor, putting a front clip on it, or a rear clip. In some cases, just straightening cars out that's all gobbed together, you know, and I enjoy it. I mean, it's just.
Did you two ever get to race against each other?
A little bit, yeah. I think.
Tell me how that went. Where was that at?
I think it was at 311.
Okay.
And,
he's laughing over here, so that must not went too well.
311, and there was one person, each one of us wanted to outrun.
Okay.
And it seemed to me like we got taken out by that person, whether it's me or the other person, on the first occasion. And the second time, it was probably a grudge thing.
Okay.
And so we was both driving for the same guy, and he said, look, we need to do something here. We need to split y'all up.
Now,
so, I mean,
let me ask you a question. When and I've asked you this before, I'm sure, but when Jimmy's winning all these daggone Sportsman races, and, you know, he won this championship 77, 78, 79, I don't know what happened in 1980, probably Steve Plemons or something, I'm guessing, 81, 82. I mean, they're, you know, during a 6-7 year period, he won almost all of them.
Yeah.
Were they putting any heat on, put him in a modified? Were you thinking about maybe trying to figure out a way to get him in a modified?
He didn't want to drive him. He didn't want to drive a modified.
Did he ever drive yours so I can practice?
No, he drove a car, but it wasn't mine, just to practice. And I told him one night I had 2 cars, and I forget what happened. I said, Jimmy, just go over there and practice and start it. He said, no. He said, I was successful where I was at. And he said, if I get in a modified car, the first race, they're going to expect me to be successful again. And he said, I'd just rather not.
No starting parks for you, right?
No.
I got you. I understand.
Yeah.
Is that something you guys regret that you guys didn't get to race together more?
No, we cheered each other on. I've left Bowman Gray Stadium before and went to 311 to see him run,
Okay.
and vice versa. And no, we were just satisfied. I mean, he was doing what he wanted to do, and I was doing what I wanted to do.
Right.
So,
Did you guys kind of encourage each other? You know, at Bowman Gray, it can chew you up and spit you out some nights. You know, it's a real tough place to race.
Where I live now, his car was the first car in my garage. Brought it over there, and I did the bump steer on it. I think that's the year I built him a motor. And no, we have never been nothing but brothers. I mean, we love each other to death and wish each other the best of luck. And, you know, if we was involved in something, Sunday morning, the phone ring, it'd be, Jimmy, you all right, or vice versa. And so we just always had a good brother relationship.
39 modified wins, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Did it aggravate you couldn't get to 40? I mean, 39, why not 40, right?
No, I was tickled to death at 39, but the last race I ran over
Well,
there.
you're tied with Gary Myers, if I remember right. Has he got 38 or 39? I know
He
you guys
got
were right there.
38.
Okay, all right, okay.
So-
I knew you guys were right there together. I don't have my notes in front of me, but
Yeah, it was just uphill thing, and I enjoyed it. Enjoyed keeping cars up, working on them, and you know I'm still doing it. Like I said,
Oh, yeah.
Somebody has trouble, and I don't know where I gained all this stuff about. Oh, Johnny Johnson's a Flathead man. I had this guy to ask me if I knew an engine builder, and I said no. He said, well, he might need a little help. And I said, well, I can tear your motor apart and put it together, but I'm no engine builder.
I'm pretty good at tearing them apart, too.
Yeah, I said, I'm no engine builder.
Right.
So we left it at that, and the season hadn't started yet, you know.
I got you. Now, we were joking around earlier, me and you. Ralph Brinkley was here to be a part of Rattling the Rollcage, and I was kind of giving him a hard time. If you had an extra car, would you put Ralph in it to let him give those Flathead Fords a try? Because I'd love to see him out there.
I'd even let him drive my car, and I'd pick up another car.
Man, what a guy.
And,
your own car, cool. And I know that's a championship car.
If he tears it up, if he don't tear up the other car, I mean, it'd be mine, you know
Right,
what
I
I mean?
got you.
But, yeah, I'd like to see Ralph in it, you know, and a new face, and with his wins and the fans and all, everybody knows Ralph Brinkley. I mean, it'd be exciting.
It would. And, you know, part of the reason we're doing this Legends of the Madhouse series is there's so many fans out there, younger fans, they've heard the name Jimmy Johnson. They see Johnny Johnson in the program, but they really don't know the stories behind these guys. And that's part of why we're doing the show today. And, Jimmy, I want to ask you, that night or that day or whenever, when you kissed the top of that race car and said, that's it, after how long did it take before it started eating at you that, man, I miss Bowman Gray Stadium?
Well, that particular night that I spun, these two cars hit me before I ever hit the guardrail.
Right.
And it twisted before I could get my neck going one way, it done sent it the other way. And my neck was sore the next morning.
Yeah.
I said, I ain't fooling with that thing no more. The good Lord's been good to me, and the car has, and I'm gonna leave her sitting there till somebody buys it.
Do you remember how old you were when you quit?
Too old.
Well, I can't remember.
I quit in actually 2002, so I was probably 65.
Okay, I was thinking early 60s. I couldn't
yeah.
remember. But was there a point in time where, whether you're at home or whether you went to Bowman Gray as a fan and you're like, man, I miss going to this place?
Well, the most thing that ever gnawed on me was the fact that I didn't get the 100 win, credit for the 100
Right,
win.
I understand.
But the reason I wanted the 100th win, when I got to 75, I was the first to never get 75.
Gotcha.
I went and told Dale Pennis, I said, I think you ought to give me a trophy for getting 75 wins. He said, I'll give you one when you get to 100.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I never did get it.
I understand.
And that gnawed at me. And I said, I'm going to tell you something. I already got one over 6 foot tall that Coors gave me.
Right.
Coors really,
Yeah, the Coors 100.
they really give out. No, this was a championship.
The championship trophy, yes,
Yeah.
sir. Okay.
And Coors really give out some nice trophies.
Agreed.
You know.
Well, when you did have a little bit of time to sit and let all that percolate, what did you miss most about Bowman Gray Stadium? What was the part of it that was hardest to give up?
My fans.
You had a lot of them too.
Yeah, I had a lot of fans.
You were the most popular driver in the program, balloting, I believe, 4 times.
4 times.
And you were one of the fan favorites for years, you know.
Well,
you were also one of the guys everybody loved to boo.
Yeah.
There were people,
exactly.
I mean, they were
But
standing
that
up.
didn't
You got the
bother
one
me.
finger salutes and the whole 9 yards. Did that kind of motivate you, Andy? All those people that couldn't stand you.
Well,
Because Junior Miller, one of the greatest villains of Bowman Gray Stadium, if you will. Junior loved it. He loved when people booed. Man, he would come up to me and say, "Man, get them riled up tonight," and I would take it. And he loved it. Did you feel off of that booing, or did you always want everybody to cheer for you?
you know, back in the day, Mike Mulhern was a sports writer.
Yeah, with the Journal. Mhm.
And he gave me the name of Darrell Walter for Bowman Gray, Dale Earnhardt.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people liked me on account of what he said,
Right.
but a lot of people hated me.
Right.
And I don't know which side I was on, but everybody knew when that 17 rolled out on the track that I was either going to win or put on a show.
What was it? Was it the competition of it, trying to beat the other guys, or was it the entertaining the fans, or what part of that did you enjoy the most?
Well,
Because you did both.
the entertaining part about it was starting in the back and winning.
Right.
You know,
And you did that a lot.
I had a competitor of mine. One night he brought in the back. Hell, I ain't gonna start the race back there. I said, well, you can win from the back just like you can in the front.
Absolutely.
He said, nah, you can't do that. So one night there's 26 cars there. I started 26. Won the first race for 20 laps.
Wow.
Second race.
Folks, passing 26 cars at Bowman Gray Stadium is hard to do in 100 laps, much less 20. That's quite an
And the
accomplishment.
second race, I drawed 16th and won it.
Wow.
You know, so that just goes to show you can't count your
It can
chicken
be
before
done.
the
It
act.
can be
you know.
done, yeah.
It can
And you
be
probably
done.
did that more than anybody back in the day that I can remember. As a fan.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Well, you won a lot of them that way.
Well,
It
yeah.
seems like you won more of them the hard way than you did the easy way.
but I had one of my prior competitors back in the soaking tire deal. They called him soaking the tires. He went and told some people that I told on him for soaking his tires. Well, when that come to me, I just go to him and I said, look, I heard you say, tell somebody that I told on you for soaking your tires. I said, I don't give a damn if you soak your whole car. Boy, he threw his head down and walked off.
That's a good one right there. I don't know how we're going to top that line, Johnny Johnson.
No, he got it.
The modifieds, when you first started running those cars, and then today, like the modifieds that Tim Brown and Burt Myers and John Boy and Lee Jeffries and Jason Myers and all those guys are running, the cars have just gotten so advanced, so the technology and the expense. Talk about when you first started and then, what it costs to run one of those cars in today's world.
Well, the cost back when I started, I think paid $2,500 for the car. It was race ready.
Wow.
And as I said before, I won 2 races that year. And now I wouldn't know where to start. They got all these bump stops and trick shocks, and I didn't run that. I'd take and put a bolt through mine, put my foot down on it, pull up on it, and push it down. Say, hey, put this one on the right front or something.
I got you.
I just
Backyard
dyno
engineering, right?
dynoer, you know what I mean? And so now, I mean, I wouldn't know where to start. And the old Flatheads, when I moved into that, I kind of learned what to do and how to do it, and they were running air pressure like you'd run out on the road out here, maybe 30 pounds. And I said, hey, you need to drop them down. Oh, no, you got to run that much. So I started dropping mine down, and you could tell somebody, and they'd say, oh, no, I can't do that. I go over there and check mine, you know.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell you nothing I ain't doing.
Right.
So everybody comes to me about, can I do this, or what do you think? And if I've ever told anybody wrong, I don't know it. I mean,
Now, Jimmy was kind of known as, I don't know, I'm trying to search for, he was kind of a badass in the sportsman cars. I mean, he was a guy to go out there, and if you were in his way, he's going to put the damn bumper to you and move you out of the way. That's just the way Jimmy Johnson was in his prime. You were kind of known for being one of the nice guys in the modified division. You were the guy that, you know, was a technical racer. You bided your time. You were respectful and courteous. Not that you weren't, Jimmy, but you were known a little bit more for being, like I said, a badass. You go out there and put the bumper to people. Johnny, your style was a whole lot different. You were really kind of cool and collected. And
I was building my own cars, my motors, and everything, and I didn't have a bought car. You know, I was working at Reynolds.
right,
And Terry King started helping me in '84. He bought me 2 tires. I figured if I get the start, we'll pay for one, and if I finish high enough, pay for the other one, you know.
right.
So that's the way I started and made the most of it. And just if I didn't have it, I tried to make it. If it's bent, I straightened it. If it's broke, I welded it.
Right.
And
Was that part of the satisfaction?
It
When you
was,
won,
it
you
was,
know, that
yeah,
it was your
yeah,
stuff, it was
yeah.
your baby.
yeah, and I'm still in that mode. I build street rods, and I've got 3 unfinished, 2 finished, and started on another one. And you know, I should be out in them riding around. I mean, like out here, I told the man, I said, I didn't know it. I'd have brought a car.
And folks, we're here at Turn and Burn Raceway as part of the Midway Town Center, and Zeno Marshall's Thunder Road Cruise-In's going on outside as we film this, and it's a car show with a lot of really cool cars out there.
Oh, yeah,
Johnny's referred to. And I enjoy the car shows too.
Yeah.
I've emceed a lot of them, and some of them 500-600 cars, and it's always a joy to do that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you're a car guy through and through. Johnny, all the years you run at Bowman, let's talk about Bowman Gray again for a minute. All the years you run at Bowman Gray, is there any one regret that you had, any one night, something you did that you could take back and redo or do differently?
Well, no, I drove to the best of my ability, and like I said, I got fired for not spinning the man out winning the race.
Gotcha.
And so, you know, I just enjoyed racing, and in return, if a man was behind me, he gave me the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Like
I said, you were
yeah.
one of the most respected guys in the pit area there, as far as modified goes, and you earned that.
I figured it like this: if I could go home, the car's not handling too good. I could go home, all 4 wheels is going the same direction. I could work on it.
Gotcha.
If I had to go home and put 4 new wheels on it, I had to start all over.
What was your favorite race or night at Bowman Gray that you can recall? The one shining moment, if you just had one that you could put in a scrapbook, what would it be?
Well, naturally, it'd be where I won that $5,000 bonus.
I remember that.
The second one.
Yep.
I mean, that would have
Yep.
been the Winston 199.
Right, yes.
And, you know, they were all good races. Any win's a good win, 25 lapper or whatever, but
Right.
the 100 lappers, I like them. I like the long races. But that year, the 199, the 200, and had a good chance to win the 150 if the man had a heel to the pace car. So,
Yeah, there's always, every driver I interview and talk to, there's always a few that stick in your mind that you should have won and you didn't, and that's the
Yeah.
nature of being a racer and being a competitor.
yeah. Well, the caution come out 4 laps ago, and the man run 3 laps and wouldn't let the pace car out.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. I couldn't have done it, got by with it, I don't think.
Understood.
Anyway, I finished second, and That's a good deal.
Now, last thing for you here. You're just turned 80 years old back in the summer, and you're still racing. Looking at camera, and if there's somebody at home, you know, and they're getting a little age on them, and they're getting people telling them they should give up their hobby. You don't really have to. As long as you got good health, you can keep on enjoying yourself and having fun, right?
You can, yeah. We have fun racing. It's kind of like a family. We got one guy, and he brings the food, makes the spread, the drinks, the whole works in his trailer, which our club's only got 2 enclosed trailers.
Right.
And
The open trailer gang, as I call them.
he was doing that, and you know, now come on eat. And one day we were in, he had to step out, and I said, guys, this guy, he don't owe us nothing. I'm gonna put a tip box up there. We need to give him something on his food. And everybody agreed, so I made a tip box, we put it up there. And I don't know what he gets, I ain't never asked him, but he did thank all of us. Thank you, you know,
cool.
where he was doing it to himself.
Jimmy, final question for you.
All right.
You know, part of what I've enjoyed at Bowman Gray, both as a fan and later as the announcer and now doing these videos, was the friendships, the relationships that I built with a lot of people there, including you guys. Talk about that a little bit. Is that one of the things maybe that when you do hang up that helmet, when we go do these Triad Racing preview and do videos like this, talk about getting to see, you know, some of these guys that you raced with for so many years.
Yeah, it's enjoyable to sit down and talk to people like Ralph Brickley, Alfred Hill, the Jeffrey boys, Puddin Swisher, Philip Smith. A lot of my Sportsman guys is like myself. They done retired, you
Right.
know. But Jonathan Brown and all those guys, I really, Gary Myers, Burt Myers, Jason Myers, I enjoy talking to them, you know. And Tim Brown, I know them all, and they all know me. And it's enjoyable to see them again. And when they win, I go up and say, you done it just like I do it, you know. But we go back to Johnny talking about it handling his cars. If I ever had a car to handle, I didn't know it. Because the way I drove. I
Right.
mean, yeah.
You let it all hang out.
I
That's what
went
made you so
everywhere.
much fun to watch.
I never run 2 laps the same.
They never know
Whether
what you
that
were
was
gonna do.
good or bad.
Right.
You know,
Gotcha.
I never run 2 laps the same. And all the times we ever got to qualify was in that 100-lapper. And I think I qualified on the pole one time.
Right. So
So-
being a technical
I just hit a
precise
good
racer
lap.
was not your cup of tea. I gotcha.
No.
Well, I wanted to thank both of you guys. You know, as a young kid, growing up in the south side of Winston-Salem, you know, going to Bowman Gray Stadium on Saturday night, you know, for some of us, that's the only entertainment we had. And it was a thrill and enjoyment watching you guys as I was growing up. And then an even bigger honor to stand in front of all those people with a microphone. And it was a dream come true for me, just like it was for you guys to get out there and race and put on a show for these fans. So I want to thank both you guys personally for being here today. And Johnny, quit stinking up my shows every time we run the East Coast Flathead fours. This guy right here, folks, he just lays it to them. And I love seeing you get out there at 70-something, 80 years old to keep on racing. I think it's great. And I hope you guys will, you know, figure out a way to, if you're not internet savvy, get somebody to get this thing up on the computer for you. We're going to have it out there as soon as we can. And like our page, and we're going to have more legends of the Madhouse. And ladies and gentlemen, what a great honor to have the 2 winningest brother combination at Bowman Gray Stadium, Jimmy and Johnny Johnson, here as part of Rattling the Rollcage. And I'm Randy Pettitt, racing's greatest showman, and we're so glad that you caught our program today. Thank you again to Turn and Burn Raceway, the RC and slot car track right off exit 100 on Hickory Tree Road. Come check them out in the Midway Town Center. You can like them on Facebook. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to our producer, Lee Kraft of Monday Morning Racer. Be sure to check out his show. I'm Randy Pettitt, racing's greatest showman, and may all your days be race days.
This edition of Rattling the Rollcage is brought to you by strutmasters.com. Suspension conversion kits assembled, sold, and serviced right here in North Carolina. When your suspension lets you down, we won't. Give Strutmasters a call at 866-597-2397. And by Vita C Shot. Get your daily dose of vitamin C 10 times over in one Vita C Shot at retailers near you, or you can order online at VitaCShot.com. And by Rooster's Country Store in Kernersville. It's the Triad's most unusual home decor, yard art, and gift shop anywhere. And by H&A Directional Boring of Snow Camp, North Carolina. It's owned and operated by 2019 Speedway Modified champion Gary Causey. This program was filmed on location at Turn and Burn Raceway and Hobby Center in the Midway Town Center off U.S. Highway 52, exit 100. I'm Randy Pettitt, host of Rattling the Rollcage, and this is a production of the Monday Morning Racer. And may all your days be race days.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.